we're still in lockdown with certain measures about social distancing and small group running, and you may be after a face mask that would allow you to get out there with a bit more protection for running. And the Stride with the N95 filter for the face mask could be the one that you've been looking for. My name's Ray Whitby. This is Aspiring Runners. Let's get cracking with that review. So, in a previous video, access it up here, we looked at a variety of face shields, face masks, face coverings, some general items that you could get hold of at the time, and looked at how you could still run and its impact on your ability to breathe whilst having some protection from the coronavirus. And on the back of that video, there was a retail company, Craft Cadence, that got in touch and asked us, could we review some of their face masks? And one that really caught our eye was this, the Stride face mask with the N95 removable filter. And we said, okay, we'll have a look. We could do the review as long as we're allowed to be able to give an unbiased opinion. So they agreed. So it has to be stated that I am receiving absolutely no money from the company at all for this review. So it allows me to be very honest with the pros and cons of this system. In terms of the cons, well, the N95 filter is a removable liner inside the mesh, and the N95 will allow at least the extraction of a lot of particulate matter, organics, down to 2.5 micron size systems. But the problem is that when looking at the running performance, you've instantly increased the breathing resistance, and that makes running then with the N95 filter in place extremely difficult. But in terms of other possible downsides is that certainly within the design, across the nose, this Stride has a nose bridge which is too soft, and it's very difficult then to form it around the nose tightly, so that when you're breathing in and out with the filter, the air, the exhalation kind of escapes and hits the eyes, and depending on how hard you're breathing is just how much your breath is being pushed back into your face, which again can be very distracting and not at all comfortable. But actually in terms of the fitting of it then, at least it gives some protection for the inhalation and exhalation for those in close proximity. They've got these two escape filters that will just push out, but you yourself are safe, which is what the whole purpose of running in something like this is. I would also say that, where are we going? The frequency of using the N95 filter can also be quite an issue as well. That on their advertising for the product, they've said that potentially you could be replacing that in a filter like once every week, once every other week. And after a while, as a consumable, the cost would then begin to increase. But I guess it does depend on just how polluted the environment is that you're running in. Equally, just how much sweat that you're giving off, and how quickly you'll end up clogging up those pores within the carbon mesh. So those are on the con side. But on the pro side, I absolutely love the look of this face mask. I think it probably wins over every other one that I've tested, apart from maybe the neck buff. But also that it is very comfortable to wear. And I can imagine that just for low intense running, jogging, this would be a perfectly fine face mask to be using for those types of activities. I think, as I said, if you're trying to go any quicker, you're going to really struggle to keep the breath drawing in, and it's one downside, and potentially a serious downside, you have to be aware of, understanding the risks of running with face masks, as they do prohibit or hinder deeper breathing. But apart from the good looks and its pros, it's lightweight, You can secrete it into your pocket, so it's great to have it when you're about to run into certain environments where there are a lot of people kicking about. So if you're at the start line, the finish line, refueling stations along the way, it's great to have something that you can just dip your hand into your pocket and pull on quickly. It's not bulky. So actually, there are a lot of things that are going for this particular face mask. And I think also that if you are running with the filter in place, whilst the breathing restrictions are there, we know that, but actually it does give you confidence that you will be protected from foreign agents, toxic chemicals, the coronavirus, etc. Now, what I did find was that when you remove the inner mesh, there was something about the design of this outer face mask, which is like an open weave. It's a polymer gauze with two distinct pore sizes, for want of a better word. And that allows you, that when you've got rid of the filter, to be able to run with no restrictions to your breathing. And actually that makes it a very interesting prospect to use in race events or running in larger numbers whilst we're still experiencing the coronavirus pandemic. That if you have something that can potentially block, just by its physical action, not just by absorption onto porous membranes, but by physical action, prevent the exhalation of liquid from your nose and your mouth, and you can run unrestricted in your breathing, this face mask could be a potential winner. Now, if you look at this video, I'm going to bring up, we've taken a standard spray bottle just filled with water, tried to be as scientific as I could, but giving it a good couple of squeezes without anything acting as a barrier. And you can see just the amount of liquid that escapes and the kind of pattern. Now compare that to when we put the Stride face mask without the N95 filter in place, and suddenly you can see there is a massive reduction in the amount of liquids that escape. Now, it's not 100%, and I think you can use this as a potential opportunity, at least the manufacturers could, that with a subtle alter in the engineering of these face masks, that you could improve the spacing and the overlap of the gauze, where the breathing is unrestricted, and potentially you could eliminate 99% of your exhalation breath, at least the liquids in there, providing a very effective barrier, which you need for protecting when running during coronavirus in groups. Let's get across the road safely. So I think what we need to look at is to take this face mask without the N95 filter and then do a running comparison with the neck buff, which scored top in the previous review, and see how we get on over a 1K course, where we can try and extrapolate data just to see is the body affected and how the metrics will change. Let's go up this way. Excuse me. So that's what we need to be looking at. So overall, I do rate the Stride system with the N95 just below the disposable FFP2 face mask without the filter in place. If we're just looking for running performance with some protection against coronavirus, I think it's nudging into first position. But as I say, we have to look at performance comparison on a 1K running course. Well, I hope you found this useful. Please do click and subscribe to the channel. I've got many more videos coming up. Great if you could hit the bell notification so they'll be alerting you when they're ready. And also, yeah, please hit the like button as well. And it'd be great to actually get your comments on this type of review as well. It's been quite a difficult and challenging conditions running in the sun, but the fact that I'm still running and still breathing, this filter is getting some thumbs up from me. So it'd be great to have your comments down below. And just to say thank you again for joining me on Aspiring Runners. Take care.